It says, am I compromising my beliefs by using a transgender person's preferred pronoun? For instance, calling someone going through a male to female change she.
Thank you. That's a really serious question, isn't it? I want to share with you a passage that helps me on this. I've had the privilege and opportunity of spending some time, not much time and not enough time, with transgender people, and that question becomes very, very immediate and vital when you're in an actual real life context. It is no longer abstract. You've got flesh and blood in front of you. How are you going to respond to that person? There's a proverb, I think, that helps with some of this. Proverbs 26, verses 4 and 5, I think give us a principle that can apply to this kind of issue. Let me just read these proverbs to you. They may make you raise an eyebrow because I've heard these particular verses used as evidence for why the Bible can't be trusted and why it's full of contradictions. So it's fun to dive in with that one, isn't it? Proverbs 26, verse 4 and 5. Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own eyes. Sorry, I read the wrong verse. Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest you be like him yourself. Next verse, answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own eyes. So it's one of those, Bible, do I answer a fool according to his folly, yes or no? And the Bible says yes and no. There are times when you shouldn't answer a fool according to his folly, and there are times when you should. What does answering a fool according to his folly mean? A fool in Proverbs is simply someone who is not orienting life around a creator God, the creator God of the Bible. So by using the word folly in the context of this discussion, I'm not implying something demeaning about transgender friends. It's just an example of people who don't have a Christian worldview. So the proverb seems to be saying there are times when you shouldn't run with an unbiblical way of thinking. Don't indulge someone's non-biblical way of thinking in case you end up becoming like that person yourself. In other words, if you think, okay, I'm going to join in that particular unbiblical way of thinking, the danger is that you end up becoming part of it. It wins you over. But on the other hand, there are times when you should adopt that unbiblical framework in order to, over time, be able to show someone why that framework doesn't work and why there is the need for biblical wisdom. So if I can apply that to this issue, and this is why it's not a yes-no issue for me, do I need to do something to stop that happening? I'll just assume you'll wave at me if I do.
Don't blame me. It's got to be my
Okay, I'll blame Sean. Sean's fault. If I'm meeting someone for the first time who identifies as transgender, so someone in this situation going from sort of male to female and is identifying as a she and presenting with a female name, in that instance, my instinct as someone who is a Christian who is wanting to ultimately share Christ with someone is I want to be hospitable. I would rather I was the one feeling uncomfortable rather than the other person. And because I'm not wanting to immediately close down the possibility of future conversation, I will probably in those instances be happy to adopt that person's name and pronoun simply because to start the conversation with the insistence that we're using my language and not theirs actually just means that's going to be the end of the conversation. It's going to be the end of the encounter. I want to kind of make me the one who's doing the initial accommodating and hospitality because I want in time to commend a biblical view of gender identity to this particular individual. Now, the danger is that we just do that because we're conflict averse and it feels like the easy option. That would be, I think, where the proverb's saying it's unwise. Because you're basically saying, I don't want to resist your worldview, or I'm intimidated by the kind of cultural climate that we're in. But there will be other times, and this this may happen where someone, say, at my church who's been a Christian for many years, suddenly says to me, I now want you to call me this instead of that, and to address me by this pronoun and not that pronoun. In that instance, I'm most likely not going to. Because in that case, this is someone who does know differently. Your fault was in breaking this from there.
It happened in the green room.
Yeah. So it in some sense, it does depend on who the person is and whether I think there's someone who has if they've got no background in the Christian faith, I want to give them as much. I want to be as flexible as I can be in order to be able to spend the time with them that I might be able to commend Christ. And if it's someone who is professing to be a mature Christian and is suddenly springing this on me, I think in that instance, I'm going to say, I'm sorry, but I can't agree with that. So it will, to some extent, depend on the person and where I think they may be heading spiritually.